My friend Ice. Wow. Clap, clap,
My name is Ice.
My name is Ohaji Kamara. I'm currently a black expat living in Colombia. I love saying that word expat.
Igual la pronunciación que van a escuchar aquí es una pronunciación estilo vale verga.
For me, Barranquilla had that perfect balance of all the things I like: Caribbean culture,
Bad. Very bad.
you know, the things that you say, I wish I knew that before.
What's going on, guys? We got something special today. Today we're gonna find out what it takes for a foreigner to purchase a home here in Colombia, all right? I know that's something that a lot of you guys been wondering in transitioning into moving into Colombia. So today we're gonna go and find out all the details about that. Taking you with me, we're gonna go to a friend of mine. You met him before, but I'm gonna let him properly introduce himself. We're gonna go to his house and check out what he got going on, and then hopefully we can talk to a realtor to give some good information, find out some tips we need to look for and steps we need to take when purchasing a home here. All right. Okay, check out this chick right here. Hot chick with the Timberland boots on. Okay.
Así es que se vive en Barranquilla.
That's how you live in
Un
Barranquilla.
viernes por la tarde.
Okay, chilling.
En un balcón con una águila negra.
In the balcony with some agua drink vibing with the Timberland boots on. Word.
Aquí es donde está el sabor quillero.
Okay.
Lo único que falta es una salsa.
En inglés.
Es que yo soy precisamente
En
gracias a
inglés.
mía. Bueno, entonces corta, mocha.
No, en English.
Bueno, bueno, no quiero hablar inglés.
Sí, tú hablas inglés, pero why no?
We stay
Yeah.
in the place
In the place.
beautiful.
Woo! Clap for that. Clap. Aplauso. Aplauso.
La vista,
The view.
que es they look.
Uh-huh. I can't show you the whole view, guys, but it's
Is-
beautiful.
Es, ¿cómo se dice inspirador? ¿Cómo se dice inspirador?
No sé. La gente va a decir.
Bueno.
Sí.
Para la gente que, mira, vamos a resumir esto. Yo no sé hablar inglés, o sea, si van a poner este video, yo no sé hablar inglés.
Okay.
Igual la pronunciación que van a escuchar aquí es una pronunciación estilo vale verga ya, pero me sabe a verga. Bueno, aquí les va el inglés. We have
Okay.
enjoy
Enjoy.
in the evening.
The evening, yes.
evening.
Ooh, there you go, girl.
Hey.
With the evening. Okay, yeah.
The evening. Wow. Magents. ¿Es más entonces magents
Okay.
o mágico?
Magic. Enjoying the evening magic.
I have
You have.
people. Como dice muy cerca, my clothes.
You're close.
Sí, cercano, my clothes.
Oh, you have people close to you. Uh-huh.
Close with me.
Bueno.
Como Ohaji. Un aplauso para Ohaji.
Wagwan?
¿Cómo es?
Wagwan, remember that?
Wow, blood.
Wagwan, blood.
Wow, blood.
Yeah. Oh, Wagwan, fam.
Wow,
You
fam.
good? You blessed?
Sí,
Bendición.
inglés.
There you go,
Blessed.
man. You heard it here, it's official. Bendición, blessings.
Very shoulders.
My friend Ice. Wow. Clap.
My name is Ice.
Clap.
I'm gonna hear the baby.
I was like, who's Ice? Leon, baby.
Ace.
Ace, not ice. Ace.
Ah, ok, Ace.
Okay, thank you.
Pero esto es lo mejor del video. Esto es error.
Yeah, this is the best part of the video. This is hard. This is really good.
No, mentira. Lo mejor del video soy yo.
Sí, bueno. Okay, entonces queda aquí.
Okay.
Let the man talk.
No.
But you stay right here, okay?
Entonces, my friend Ohashi
Mi amiga, Caro.
is
Mi
the
corazón.
best.
Ah, thank you. She's so nice. She's so good. Thank you, Caro. But she don't call me. She don't come to see me no more.
When the last time you seen her?
Oh,
Hazme
man,
una
it's
pregunta, hazme una pregunta. Hazme una pregunta en inglés
Marzo.
para ver si yo... Porque esto es conociendo Barranquilla y conociendo a la gente que no habla inglés.
She wants me to ask her a question
Sí.
so she can respond to it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
¿Cuál es el favorita color?
Pero dímela en inglés, salí de
Oh, okay. She wants me to ask her the question in English. Okay. What is your favorite food?
Everything.
Okay.
Let's look it up.
I thought she gonna break it down. You know what I mean? What did you finish eating just now?
Repeat, please.
What did you finish eating just now?
Sé la respuesta, pero no sé cómo decirla en inglés.
¿Qué?
No,
What did
sé,
you eat?
Sé la respuesta, pero no sé cómo decirla.
What did you eat today?
De comer. Ah, ok. Sushi.
Okay, there you
¿No
go.
más?
Eh,
¿Desayuno?
No, espérate. ¿Qué más comí? No recuerdo qué comí.
She don't remember what she ate.
I don't remember.
Chicharrones, patacones.
My brain
Brain is malo.
is bad. Very bad.
It's the hydro.
Do you like to ride bicycles? The short answer.
¿Te gusta
Sí.
bicicleta?
There we go.
I like ride bicycle because I know every place, people.
She likes to ride a bike to know every place. She was actually telling me about how she goes to certain towns here in Barranquilla, and she'll ride a bike with her club. Like she seriously has a club that links up every Sunday, right? On Sunday, the club. Lo gente pasen a tu casa.
Okay.
The club, the people go to her house to link up. That's where they start a las 5, at 5 o'clock.
5 a.m. Luego
En inglés.
5 on club.
Ajá.
¿Cómo se dice luego?
Luego, games.
Luego I come,
Oh, later, I think.
o más bien vamos en los carros. O sea,
They go in a car to certain towns, and they'll station in a random town, and then they'll just ride bikes, and they like to go through certain woods. You like to, ¿cómo se llama el lugar que estoy hablando en español?
¿Pero cuál lugar?
El lugar para, no el
Trocha.
El trocha.
Trocha.
So she'll like to go to the trocha. Where you learn English? He teach you.
Ok, yo voy a hablar algo. Realmente, bueno,
This guy better not be. This guy is everywhere with the camera.
You gotta
realmente,
find those angles, man.
Please don't.
If you don't see me again,
Oh,
you
no.
repeat my cat.
realmente les voy a decir algo. Esta es la mera habladera de Mondaki en Barranquilla. De pronto, para los que de pronto están en otro lugar y son barranquilleros, mírenme a mí, identifíquense. Así se siente el barranquillero hoy. Oye, que estamos. ¿Qué día es hoy?
Viernes.
Bueno, el día se lo ponen ustedes.
Septiembre
Entonces,
11.
bueno, así se siente un barranquillero un viernes por la tarde, por supuesto, con la negrita que siempre nos acompaña. Y como estamos todavía en tiempo de cuarentena, aunque ya se liberó todo, todavía nosotros guardamos los protocolos, pero no dejamos de disfrutar.
So basically, she's saying this is how she's spending her day, and if you're from Barranquilla, you're supposed to spend your day relaxing, drinking a Águila Negro. That's what the beer she's having, and you know, we just got out of quarantine, and so basically we're now free from the quarantine a little bit, but we still have to.
Ustedes disculpen mi gente, pero para que me conozcan con gafas.
And we have to. Now she does the. Right? That came out of nowhere. But we've still practicing protocols.
¿Con gafas o sin gafas?
She got the glasses on because, you know, you're supposed to walk around with, you know, covering your face. Okay, you want to put gafas, then we put gafas. Okay, I got the gafas. Hot mess.
Gafas es porque tú fumas, entonces.
No.
Ojo es rojo.
Para ver.
Sí, poco rojo. Cosita.
Oh Lord. Okay, bueno.
Tape in the middle of them glasses.
We were supposed to do an interview with you.
Man, I'm waiting for you, man. You was warming up. Okay,
Sit there.
Karen, ponte unas gafas. Ponte unas gafas. Busca las gafas.
Oh, that's my trip man over here. Okay, let me use the toilet and I come back 1 sec.
Ok. Pongamos. Ay, música.
Oh, you want to put music, girl, with the whole. You trying to make a music video or something? What's going on?
Llamada.
Una llamada. All right, guys. So.
Ajá, amigo.
All right, here we go.
What's up? How you doing?
Man, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to just be able to ask you some questions of these.
It's a pleasure, bro. Welcome. Well, I can't even say welcome to Colombia because you've been here long enough to be a resident, effectively. But yeah, it's a pleasure. So, I guess let's kick this off, man. My name is Ohaji Kamara. I'm currently a black expat living in Colombia. I love saying that word expat. It feels good when you're black and you say expat, not immigrant. Something really powerful about that. So, I originally from London, England, born to Caribbean parents, Cuban, Trinidadian, whatever else, but decided after years of living in the UK that I would decide to come and move and have an adventure and try to reconnect with my kind of Latin American roots and diasporic roots by trying to live in another country, and I chose Colombia. And specifically Barranquilla, where I live now, because basically it offered the best package for me as somebody who is effectively a gringo here. You still have those kind of big city, Western city sensibilities, so I needed a bit of a balance of that and the kind of Caribbean lifestyle I've had from my parents growing up and whatever else, but also just the functional things that you expect from a city: internet, banks, good hospitals, doctors, all that kind of stuff. And Barranquilla is a perfect mix for that. We're on the Caribbean coast, so it's right opposite Jamaica, and I'm in between Cartagena, which is like Colombia's, I don't know, like Colombia's Florida beach kind of thing, and Santa Marta, which is like Colombia's, I don't know, like kind of eco-tourism playground, you know, like Costa Rica, something like that. So I'm only like an hour and a half in each direction from each place, so it's the perfect balance. My city doesn't have lots and lots and lots of tourists, so from that perspective it's good for me to be able to just live here as a normal person, and that was important to me. I didn't want to kind of live in another country, being that kind of gringo who's always wearing, you know, the tourist hat and the tourist clothes, buying up the bar and all that. I wanted to actually just have a normal, relaxed life. That was the reason for me leaving, to, you know, travel from England so I could move somewhere else, to have enough space for my life to know what do I want to do for my next move, how do I want to live, how am I actually going to support myself, which was one thing is really good to try and have an idea of doing before you leave. So for me, in my particular instance, I am a seasoned multimedia designer, architect, and I've worked in marketing for the entertainment industry and creative industries probably 25 years now, so it was quite easy to relocate find me an internet connection, and I can still work and still earn money in pounds from the UK and in dollars from the US, which goes about 5 times further here in Colombia, which has been a blessing. And also you remove the cost of living, because you know, food here is really cheap, specifically in Barranquilla. In Barranquilla, you know, I have an apartment here that I bought that was, you know, probably a quarter of the price of the value it would have cost me to buy it in the UK. You know, my utility bills are tiny in comparison, so you only need to make a certain amount of money. Really, I would say for my particular situation, making, even if I made as little as £300, or what would that be, maybe $400 a month here, is enough to kind of live all right. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, my kind of main hit has been between, you know, my own savings and other business. My minimum is kind of been, you know, sort of 6 or 7, and it gives me a great life.
All right, so we're basically here, and you got so much information, and you want to pick your mind. But today the topic is about moving into a house or purchasing a home in Colombia. I want you to be able to like share some experiences. Your first experience, like what was your first step? Did you look online? Did you come here and do some? Did you figure out what city you wanted to go for first, or?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, when you're going to buy a home, there's a couple of things you need to check out. Is neighborhood, obviously price, what you can afford, what you're going to get for that value, and also the neighborhood you're going to move into. Because when I first came here, I spent 6 months looking around, and literally I would get up in the morning, look on a map, take a taxi to an area, and just walk around for like
the neighborhood
just to find out.
And that was because of you already figured Barranquilla would be the city.
But yeah, I mean, I'd been here, I'd been to Cali, I'd been to Bogota, I'd been to Medellin, Cartagena, Santa Marta, but all of them didn't, you know, Medellin and Bogota were great, but being funny, there were too many gringos and the prices were too crazy for what you could actually get for your money. Bogota was the same. For me, living in Bogota would be like living in London, which kind of made it pointless leaving London in the first place. And it's cold. I needed somewhere that was warm. So for me, Barranquilla had that perfect balance of all the things I like: Caribbean culture with kind of Western utilities and sensibilities, internet, so on and so on and so forth, and that kind of stuff. So I was literally spend the mornings traveling around, looking at an area, looking at, you know, just trying to get a feel for the place. The test for me coming out here, being honest, coming out here is a gringo and a black gringo at that, was always just walking down the road and saying, hey, hola, and see how many people actually say hello back and seem happy to do that. That was really important for me. And in the end, I kind of settled on an area that wasn't in the center of town, and something that was a little bit more kind of residential, because I could always travel in to get into that kind of that smoke. The mistakes I would say to look out for is every second person you meet when you travel will try to tell you they've got someone who is an expert in selling and buying houses and will want you to buy from them. Now obviously there's a benefit for them. They're probably going to get a kickback in some sense, or sometimes maybe they are genuinely trying to help you, but their information is limited to what they know and only the people that they have recommendations for. So it's not like you can just talk to one person and think you're good, like anything you would do in a business.
So what did you do once you found the area you wanted? What was the next step?
I rented. I took an apartment and basically rented for the first sort of 6 months, again to get a feel for the place, see what the bills would be like, see what the access to different places was like. I'm studying Spanish at the moment, so how easy would it be for me to get to the university? How easy it for me, you know, to get into the center of town if I want to go out for a drink or go to party or something? How easy is it to get back to the house? Is the area safe at night? So, you know, very, very important. And also Colombia has, and all of Colombia has a system called Strata, and it's important to know. I didn't know this when I first came, so I would look at an area and think, oh my god, this area is beautiful and it's really cheap. You know, this house is like equivalent of like $30,000 and it's gigantic. But what you don't know is it's in Strata 1, which is like sub-hood. It's like hood and then there's the lower. So okay, you're gonna buy this house, it's really cheap, but then maybe it's really dangerous if you're not from there. And I don't mean it's kind of dangerous or somebody's going to try and murder you in your bed, but just, you know, robberies and petty crime and stuff. So there are things like that that you have to look at. And also maybe the taxis don't go there at night and things like that. So generally for me, most of the advice I got after doing some research was try to live somewhere that was like strata 4 and above, which is kind of, you know, a little, you know, a blend of kind of people with some money and people with less money, and just a nicer community. You have a much more of a mixed community experience, you know. And walking down the road for me, it's no pressure at all, no problems. So that was a very key point, and doing that research, renting to try and work out what that energy was going to be like, where you're going to move, and what was going on. And also for me, working out, man, I need to know, my general rule of thumb when I'm going to live somewhere is, can I buy plantain at 11 o'clock at night? If I live somewhere and I suddenly be like, you know what, you know, I come from Caribbean culture, if I need to eat some fried plantain or even some patacones, I need to be able to find a store that I can pop out and go, yeah, you know, buy 2 of these platano and come in and make some plantain. If the area sometimes is too high, too nice, it can be complicated to do that, you know, in the middle of the night when you want to walk out and get some stuff. So these are the kind of things I considered. I got lucky in the end, and I managed to find a place in Estrata 6, which is great, but it still had kind of the local kind of feel to it, and close to malls and close to local shops.
Okay, so you did the renting. You did the renting, and then next thing you know, you contacted a real estate, or?
Yeah, after doing, I mean, this is, I'm going to try not to go off on a tangent here, but it's funny how the world works. So I'd gone to maybe 15 different realtors and agents and on the internet and this and everything else. And one of the things that's important to know here, if you're going to buy here, by the time you're looking at an advert on the internet for an apartment to buy, it's probably been, either it's gone or there are complications with that apartment, which is why it's still on the internet. Things like, you know, oh, this apartment looks great, and then you find out the backstory and realize it's been built in an area that has major subsidence because of the water, so it's not easy to sell. So in a random conversation I was having with my dentist, who had been arranging some stuff for me, I was saying I was looking for an apartment, and she mentioned her mother was an old lady and about a realtor. Her mother used to run a company in property for years, and basically had retired but was still helping her friends sell their houses and so on and so forth. So I was like, oh, you know, I'd like to meet her and look at some places. And I got lucky. She took me under her wing. This old lady, you know, Josefina Triagos, her name is, she taught me everything. Like literally, we'd go and look at a property, and within an hour she'd come back and be like, no, this is the reason, this person is in debt, this person, you can't buy this house because it still has some problems in the neighborhood, or the administration in the building isn't good. You know, you pay for the services, but the services aren't good. So she would give me the scoop and everything. So effectively, she showed me probably 20 to 30 different houses. I was still talking to other estate agents, and even at that point, if I found something that didn't come via her, I could say to her, can you show me, or what do you think of this place? And she'd come with me, look at the place, and be like, okay, yeah, it's nice, maybe, but I think maybe you can find something that's better for you, or these are the things you need to consider in the area. And she really helps. And the benefit of that also is she helped coordinate the legal process. You know, buying, like anywhere you're going to buy in the world, is a complicated process. So having, you know, being a gringo effectively, or a foreigner, which is what they call you regardless what color you are, can be tricky to buy because you don't necessarily have all of the kind of legal history you would have in a country. So speak a little bit about that. I'm thinking that, hey, I got the money, give me the house. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. That is a problem. Don't get me wrong, man. When I came out here, you know, I just sold a house in the UK, and I was like tempted to do that whole kind of gangster thing where I come out with a suitcase, like, yeah, I want these 2 houses, you know, for the case, and there's all that cash. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. So she advised me to get a lawyer and an accountant.
Okay.
Independently. And she was one of the only people who was helping with real estate.
Oh, so she didn't recommend anything?
No, she said I should find my own. She was, and that's why I was like, I like you, because all of the other agents, oh no, my cousin, my uncle, my this, my that, use this person. And not to say that they were intending on ripping me off or something like that, but it's just you have more confidence when someone is telling you go and find your own independently. There was a lot more trust. And on doing that, I realized, there is a process to go around doing that. I needed to make sure I had a cedula for a start.
Oh, so you can't buy a house.
You can, but then if you ever try to sell the house or use it for another purpose without having some kind of Colombian-based ID, it can be really complicated. And it's just safer to kind of have that process while you're there. So rather than trying to buy on a tourist visa, it's better to have it on a cedula. To go through that and doing it with a lawyer, so you have somebody go to the notaria with you, so all of the legal documents are being done and witnessed with your lawyer, not just.
So your lawyer was able to set up and get you a cellular? How was the process?
No, I had to apply for a visa myself. Literally, and anybody thinking about coming to this country, if you're not sure about how long you want to stay, it's best to get a cedula because it will give you. You can get a mobile phone contract, you can get a bank account set up. There are you can get utility services, internet in your house. There are a number of services and things you can get here if you have some kind of Colombian-based ID. It's a visitor's kind of identification card, but to get it, you have to show a reason for being here. So my particular reason was because I joined the university and was learning Spanish, and I was doing more than, I think it's more than 20 weeks of learning, I think it was.
And then you can give you
and then, the university write a letter saying this student needs to be here for a certain amount of time, this is how long the courses are, this is what they're studying, and then you take that to the immigration office. You go through a bit of jiggery pokery, filling out the forms and waiting for them to come back to you, but effectively they give you your cedula and then you're good to go. And anytime you buy something in a shop, let's say I go and buy a new phone, every purchase you buy is normally linked to that cedula. So if you have any kind of issues and you need to take something back to the store or something like that, if you don't have a cedula, it's just a lot more complicated to do that. So that was a foundation, and that really set me up for the house. But again, and I know we'd spoken about this before, pitfalls, the things that you say, I wish I knew that before. There is actually a visa that is specifically set up for buying a house, for investments. There are two types actually. There's an R visa, which is set up for people who want to invest maybe in property or in a business in Colombia specifically, but don't intend to live in Colombia. So that gives you 6 months to live here, then you have to leave. The particular visa I needed, that I didn't know at the time, was called an M visa, and it's one where you are here to buy a house and you intend to stay here living in the country while you buy a house. Now, I didn't have the foresight to know that visa even existed, and unfortunately when I bought the house, nobody even told me that I could actually apply for that visa, because the lawyer at the time wasn't even aware of that visa being available. Normally here it's you have a visa here because you work here. That's kind of the most popular ones. The M visas are not very popular, not known very much. So I bought my house the normal way, using my cedula. I'm a Colombian citizen, and unfortunately, just for our joint convenience, she recommended me buying the house and paying her to her American bank account. Even though she's a Colombian citizen, she asked me to pay in her American bank account, which was actually cheaper because it actually saved about £2,000.
Now you could have done it the other way.
Could have done it the other way, yeah.
But it just made sense.
Made sense. Say £2,000, it's a lot quicker. You don't have to wait for your money to get transferred to a kind of Colombian broker who's then going to decide how much of a rate they're going to take from your.
Oh, so that was the process. If you do, so essentially, this is something people were, unless they found a different route. Or if they're sending, if you have a bank account here, then maybe you can just have the money here, and it might be a little bit different.
Well, even if you bring money, like for me to transfer money into I have 2 Colombian bank accounts here.
Yeah.
For me to transfer money into those bank accounts, I use an app and a service called Azimo, which for me, bringing in pounds is the easiest way. But it will still go to a Colombian partner, who then decides a little fee on that money. So far, it's the cheapest I've found. But for example, if I decided to transfer money from my bank to a Colombian bank, there is an intermediary person who you never meet, never know,
Yeah.
who will decide, well, actually, okay, you're bringing in, £20,000 to buy this car. Okay, well, hey, we're going to take £1,500 out of that, and you have no decision process in that, and it's just they just make the decision themselves.
So this is something people have to be prepared for when purchasing a home.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because of that, the reason when she made the offer to do it via the American bank account, I was like, yeah, that sounds really easy. It's a lot more straightforward. And at the time, I didn't know it was going to cause any problems, so we did it that way. But then did all the legal paperwork, the notary stuff, the tax, the changing of the names of the deeds we did here in Colombia, all legally. So my house is completely legally mine. No problems at all on that. But the unfortunate thing I didn't realize is if you want to apply for the M visa, there needs to be a transaction of 380 million pesos that goes through the bank of the national bank, the Banco de la República. Has to go through that. Minimum 380,000 pesos, which is in dollars, maybe $100,000. For us, maybe like 85,000 pounds or something. And my house more than met the threshold, so there was no issue from that. But the payment didn't go through the Banco República. So afterwards, they were like, well, you buy this house, it's your house, you have all the paperwork, it's legally yours, but we don't give you the certificate because we haven't seen the investment come through the National Bank of Colombia. And after a year of kind of petitioning and going round and round in circles, we got the final decision about 2 weeks ago. They were like, no, we're not going to give you the visa on the house. So it's kind of left me visa-less.
You know what I think is what's really, I think what's really cool is that the fact that you're sharing your story, which will help other people not go through that.
Yeah.
So, that's dope. And for those who don't know, I'm here for a second purpose. Because, among a lot of different things this guy wants to put on his table, he wants to he started his YouTube channel. We went over it today.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to put his information on the in the description, because I actually looked at some of the content he has already edited. And he just does it for fun. And they're really good piece of work. They're really, really good. And so you guys got to go check out the content. It's some places that I want to go for sure, that he's already been to, that is like, wow, the energy, the vibe, the experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What people are going to see on your channel?
Basically, it's a bit of a mix. So most of the questions I get are, why did you choose to go and live in Colombia? Why did you leave? Why would you leave England? Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Why would you do that? So for me, it's a little bit of a mix of why I left, pursuing life goals, pursuing life, actually living, why I chose to live in Colombia, what's great about living here in the kind of South American Caribbean, what some of the challenges are, things like, as I just said, the process of buying a house. Since I've been here, I've had surgery. I had, unfortunately, I had a really bad ear infection, lost the hearing in this ear, so I had to have surgery in this ear. So I've had surgery in this country. At a time, I didn't even speak a word of the language. Bought houses, random illnesses, bought a car, set up a business. I run a business here, bought a house, and all that kind of stuff. So there is a lot of information that is kind of gold dust. Not even, I think, even for someone even just wanting to live in Colombia, just if you're making that decision to be an expat, to maybe try living abroad, that what the process is, what are the steps, what are the things you should think about. I've lived that life, so you don't have to, so to speak. So it's just more about kind of sharing my perspective on that and what my journey has been, and kind of encouraging some people how to go about doing it, and showing some of the fun along the way, man. I met some amazing people, been to some breathtakingly amazing places. And for all the kind of challenges and ups and downs, it's just been it's been 3 years I've been doing this. It has been an absolutely incredible 3 years, and I just want to share that with people. But also, I don't know it all, so I'm not kind of setting up this channel to be a bit like, yes, come to Kamara Go, which is the name of the channel, and you will learn everything you need to know. It's also kind of call to action to say, hey, I'm out here doing this. Is anyone else out here doing this as well? Hey, let's share some ideas. What you out here doing? I come out here to look for some new business ideas and some ventures. Maybe you got something we can connect with, or maybe you have some information I don't have that you can help me in my situation. So it's literally sharing that experience, expanding the culture, bringing some knowledge of the culture here to parts of the Western world or other parts, you know, from my community, and sharing love, man, just sharing that beauty, those good times.
That's what's up, guys. Like I said, his channel information will be in the description. But I have to ask you this one question, because I know this question is gonna, and you don't have to be too particular, but give us a ballpark on like what someone can expect. We obviously didn't see your beautiful house. It's dark right now and everything.
Man, I can give you some footage tomorrow or something.
No, we'll see it later on your channel.
Yeah.
But could you give us an idea of what we can purchase for around $100,000?
Well, I mean, I don't mind you going through that, but I can tell you most of the apartments I looked at were between.
All right, guys, this is gonna be a two-part interview. All right, the second part is gonna be on his channel, so make sure you go check his content out. It's gonna be some more conversation. He's gonna talk about price ranges and everything. So if you want to know all those good information, go check him out. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what else he has going on his channel.
Tell you what he said. Peace.
Right here, somewhere here. All right.
Subscribe, bro.
All right, guys, see y'all.